Here we go, everybody. Another evening of Matic madness. So let's have a quick look at what's going on then, shall we? So again, nothing more to report than just still bullish and pretty steady away. We're going to compare this chart now on the 4-hourly to the way that we looked on the 4-hourly and see how scared we should be, if we should be scared at all. So when we started to launch from this level here, let's see if we can zoom in and have a little look. Now we don't have some of these indicators that we would like to have had because it was only just very brand new. But what we see is little steps. We see steps. We have majority green, a couple of red, majority green, a couple of red. Nice pullback here. Let's measure that one from top to bottom. Okay, so we had the big wick here, and we pulled back an actual 33%. Sorry, 36. Sorry, I don't know. I can't even read numbers anymore, which is pretty concerning considering my YouTube channel revolves around numbers. So we pulled back quite a considerable amount there. That would have scared a hell of a lot of people away. But then we started on our steps again. So big rejections here, not looking too healthy. I mean, these rejections are quite big as well. That rejection finished us off. But steady away, we started to make more steps up with majority green, with a few red. We're continuing to hold value. Now this is where it started to go crazy. Basically, this is where it went bonkers. We had these were kind of what we really want to see with decent growth. You want to see pushes up, consolidations, pushes up, consolidations, retraces, but essentially people taking profit on the way up. And these profits were quite large. If we get that measure tool out and we start from this bottom level here and we measure it up to this peak here, what did we have? Well, at this point we had already gone 260% at that point before we had a decent pullback, and then, you know, we probably looked a little scary, but we pushed away and we carried on. We went all the way up to the top. So from there to there, 260%. Now when we go into where we are now, we're not looking to see moves such as that, to be honest with you, even though we have actually had a we've gone over on 100% recently. So let's have a look at the nature of the way that we're moving and see if it looks a little healthier. It definitely does. This definitely does look a lot healthier. It's enormous growth. It's huge. It's very, very, very big growth. But we are having incremental steps all the way up, and it doesn't appear to me like we've topped it all, to be honest with you. We're having each of these wedges and pullbacks are nice and healthy for people to be buying, taking profit, buying, taking profit, buying, taking profit. What we don't want to see really is absence of these steps. Now what we can do when we have incremental steps like this, we can try, and what I'm going to say is this probably won't work. I'm going to do it now though. We're going to give it a go. We're going to try and use the pitchfork tool on this, okay? And this probably will not work because it's so bullish and so steep. It probably won't work. So we'll try it in a few little areas. We'll start with where should we start? It's very difficult to even know where to start really, because this when I create this pitchfork, it's going to look so bullish that I'll probably just not want to go by it. But we'll see. We'll see how we look, and see if anything works in it. It's so difficult to know when to start because a lot of this move was actually born out of a giant a giant support bounce actually. Let's start with the support bounce, shall we? We'll start with the support bounce and just go completely crazy. So first of all, I can tell you that doesn't work. So let's try it again on our first decent green candle, which was around the accumulation zone. We'll try it here. And we move it to this one and back down to this here. So that doesn't work either. Well, I mean, no, that doesn't work. It's not clean enough for me. We'll try one more time. This is probably something I should have done before I start the video, but a lot of the time when I make these videos, it's the first time I'm looking at it for the day, you see. Let's try one of these ones back here. I'll try this guy here. Yeah, right, okay, well, sorry about this. I'm going to just try it one more time. I'm only going to include candle bodies. And again, doesn't work. which is not something that I found to be any big surprise. But what I'm trying to do is track this trend with a pitchfork, and then if we could do that, then we could see when it's time to be concerned, whether it's gone up too high or too low too fast. Might try that off the video another time in another way. But at this point now, what we're looking to do is we're looking to decide whether or not Matic's found its top. I personally don't think it's found its top yet. I think it's likely to push beyond its all-time high on the Satoshi value. But what we also have to be aware of is if it pushes too hard and breaks out of the, if we were lucky enough to manage to get a pitchfork in there, that was satisfactory, and it's not satisfactory to me. But if we were, then we could be concerned if it goes too bullish. We could also appreciate when it goes, I'd say, bearish. But at the moment it doesn't. All we've got to go by is the chart itself. I don't think indicators really count, so we have to just go by what we see. So I've moved it down a notch, because normally I like to look at things on the daily, but I've moved it down to the 4 hourly, and what we see is a nice big rainbow spread, a perfect spread. I call it the nice rainbow. If you watch this channel, it's a perfect rainbow of all the pretty colours, all spread out like a nice bullish posture. Perfectly lined up, absolutely perfect. What we also have here is we're surfing more or less the top of the Bollinger Band, occasionally coming down to test the centre, very rarely breaking it, and certainly not coming down to test the bottom of it. So that's something we've got to bear in mind. If we came down and broke beneath the centre of the Bollinger Band and came back down, started to go back down again, we might not necessarily get worried, because things do that all the time, but it's likely to at least come down to the bottom of the Bollinger Band. And currently, if we're looking at the 4 hourly, that could come all the way down to this level here, 2.5 cent. Kind of unlikely at the moment. I think we've still got some more room to move. And then we're only using the 4 hourly chart on this one. If we were to use the daily, it would look a lot scarier, obviously. The bottom of the Bollinger Band is way down here. So we'll continue with the 4 hourly for the moment, because the 4 hourly is actually pretty good when things go like this. What we've been supported on then, the bottom levels would be roughly the centre of the Bollinger Band, or you could call that the 21-day close, but the vast majority of this move is being supported on the 8 or the 10-day close, and the last supports we've been having on these big bouncy wicks here, I would probably say they were on the 8-day, and that's an exponential moving average as well, so that's even more bullish. It's very bullish stuff. So I would say we've still got more room to go. Let's zoom out and have a look at the bigger picture. We'll go to the daily for that. We are looking to be cracking this level here of 3.5 cent, and it's like I've been saying for the last week or so now, these levels, they are incremental steps up. I have been expecting rejections from each of them. Excuse me, a bit of a chest infection at the moment. The whole family's got it. We're disease ridden in this house at the moment. So yeah, like I say, I was expecting to see more rejections from these, and I guess we kind of have. I mean, that is a significant rejection there. So we burst above it, came back down to sink within this territory, rejected from it there, came back inside and actually broke down beneath it. So we are getting rejections, definitely. Now we're getting quite close to this level, and I'd say we're being rejected. We're surfing and breaking essentially the top of the Bollinger Band this whole move up, which isn't, well, I mean, it's great for us because we've been holding Matic for a long time now. We've been holding it and buying it all the way back down here, so it's been pretty tasty moves. I mean, we've tripled our money now in just over a week. That's a really good move, but I still believe we've still got more room to go. MACD is through the bloody roof. The volume is really high. I believe it's trading more than XRP is trading at the moment, and it's not gone parabolic. It's actually doing it in a very bullish. It's borderline. It's borderline going mental. We don't want it to go mental. We'd like it to carry on the way it's going. That would be lovely. That'd be great. If it starts to go completely bonkers and bananas, then yeah, we want to be looking to sort of sell up at the top. My first, and as we were about to break this level here, the obvious area for it to have a pullback would be this area here. 4.5 cent area where we topped out before. That is our all-time high. If we can break the all-time high, then the sky is the limit. But expect to see some big pullbacks there. Now that is over a cent. That's 1.2 cent away from where we are right now. that would take a monumental push to get up there at any time soon. We would like to see this take place over the next week or two. My expectation has already been surpassed. I did say that we were looking for a 3 cent valued Matic by Christmas, so we've already got that. So it's Christmas come early in that respect. Everything on the chart looks bullish. There's nothing to say that it doesn't look bullish. You don't need me to tell you that it's bullish. We all know that it is. We're just looking to find if it's going to top out, and if it does top out, what's it going to do from there. There's people talking about rumours of Coinbase accepting it on the 13th. Now, I don't know where this information came from, but if that were to be released and basically come out, it would not surprise me for us to see Matic go parabolic, probably double in its value from wherever it is. So if it doubled from here, we're looking at a 6.5 cent Matic coin. That would be phenomenal. But that's off the back of that would be FOMO. That would be off the back of news. That's not based on TA. And when you have big moves like that, it breaks the TA in a way, and inevitably will go back down at some point. Then it'll start to get interesting once we see where it comes down to, where it's supported from, how long it holds for, and things like that. So, I mean, I'm taking into account that might be a possibility, that Matic could be listed on Coinbase, and if it is, then we'll be looking at doubling its value. I'd probably say doubling it would be an expectation, but then you'd have to be very careful about where you want to hold it to, because it could just and it will probably just fall back in on itself, because organic sustained healthy growth can be mapped on a chart. News coming out just kind of ruins it. It's like when you see a swimming pool that's not been swimming all night, and you go down to have a look at it, and it's still and it's quiet and it's lovely and it's nice, and then something just drops in it, and then you just get ripples all over the place, and it's all it's everywhere. That's what'll happen to the chart when something like Coinbase announces that they're going to list Matic, and it'll go on, and you'll see craziness happen, and then you'll see pullbacks happen, and then you'll have to wait till the morning after. This is a metaphor for the swimming pool, by the way, but you have to wait for the morning after for it to settle down, because no one can trade and chart what's going on when something gets FOMO'd into like that. But if it does, we'll all be very happy, because we've been buying right back down here, haven't we? So, I mean, the people who watch this channel, they're all OGs of the channel, and I see the same people coming on to watch my channel, and they've been watching it for the best part of the year. So I know that you've all been buying Matic around this area, and I know that you're all very happy with it. So we'll be very happy to see it double in its value from where it is right now. Excuse me. But when it does do that, or if it does do that, if Coinbase does do that for us, then we'll have to. Well, unfortunately, we'll probably be looking at pulling out at some point and allowing it to settle back down again. The other elephant in the room is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is looking like it wants to come down. You know that because I tell you this. I've been telling you this for a long time now, and we've been watching it come down as we've been tracking it in incremental steps. Now, Bitcoin is probably going to come down at least to test this bottom level here again of 6,600, and probably break that too, and that will impact the market, and that will impact Matic one way or another, depending on if Matic has played its move out, and if Coinbase has already had its announcement and it's already doubled in its value, and then the Bitcoin starts to collapse. I think we'll probably see some nasty retracements with Matic. If Bitcoin decides to retrace down to those levels, we'll have some nasty retracements also, but I think Matic has a better chance of recovering if it were to happen sooner rather than later. If the move that Matic's playing out right now has already played out, and we've doubled, and Coinbase has said, yep, we're listing Matic, and everybody's taking, FOMO'd in, then we will probably see some really nasty retracements, more than half probably at that point. But that's all theoretical. Going by the charts at the moment, with everything we've got in front of us, would tell me that Bitcoin's going to meander around in this area here, eventually find its way down here. It could break out, and if it does, that'd be great, but if it doesn't, it will break down beneath here, or it will stay within this wedge for the next week or so, giving Matic that opportunity to make its all-time high in an organic fashion. And that would be the best course of action we could hope for Bitcoin to stay within that descending wedge, and for Matic to continue with its growth as it is right now. Not going FOMO, not going crazy, not going parabolic, but having those steps that we've seen so far. A few nice green ones with a little red one in between, a few nice green ones with a red one in between. Perhaps we'll get a red one tomorrow, I don't know. But then carrying on with those greens, and then making our way to the holy grail of our all-time high. So I'm going to leave the video with you there. I'm going to focus on coughing up some nasty stuff. Unfortunately my channel has not gone viral, but I certainly have. And I'll leave it with you there, and have a nice evening, and take it easy everybody. Good night.